see, this channel, it's not about trying to pump up the human self and motivate it, increase your productivity, and goals, gains, success, money, women, cars, right? You guys know that, but I'm just saying. We're not trying to build up the human self. We're looking higher than just human point of view of this 60, 70, 80 years you're on the planet. We want to look at things from more eternal point of view. What can I do or am I doing in this lifetime that I'm going to take with me that's actually eternal? I'm building, the consciousness is building itself on eternity, not like fleeting things. Remember who the kings from back in the day, they'd have their disciples or their crew bury them with their treasures and everything because they like wanted to take it with them, because that's all they knew. That's all the average person knows is material, and they think they're material. So of course then you're gonna venerate and value everything that's material. Yeah, we want to value that which is immaterial and that which is eternal. We want to put value on that. This human self it's flawed by design, by default. It's flawed. So we don't want to focus so much on trying to clean the human self and make it, so perfect. And the people have flashcards, some of them, like, today I'm going to work on not being frustrated. What are you going to work on tomorrow? Let me check. Compassion. That's good. How about the next day? Love. Impatience, intolerance, etc. Want to work on all these little human flaws. These flaws aren't a big deal. Now, some will say, so like what? You just act mean and you don't look at that at all? See, I forget sometimes we have to, for the new people, we have to throw in disclaimers, because the mind only understands things. If one's too identified with the mind, then they take everything literal. Of course, you work on impatience and intolerance, but that happens automatic. That takes care of itself. The more conscious you are, the more you're aware of certain shortcomings or flaws or imbalances in your daily life, and how you treat maybe people you love, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have reacted that way or snapped at them. Okay, I want to work on that. It's automatic. You work on that, but it's still not a big deal. Those things are largely determined by the play of your biology, in your nervous system, in your emotional wiring, in your constitution. If there's imbalance, this human ship, man, is a hell of a thing to try to navigate. There's so many factors and variables that determine your human personality and your reactions and your actions and everything. It's out of one's control to a certain degree. There's a misnomer that I used to carry too, that I believed, well, the more spiritual I am, the more these things will just somehow magically just go away, and I'll just be like super loving and compassionate, and that's not the case. Yeah, of course, the more you recognize your true nature, these qualities of love and compassion, they're going to grow. But there's no, like I've said before, where's the measuring stick that will give you the enlightenment stamp? How loving do you have to be to get the enlightenment stamp? Do you have to be so loving that you see somebody, you can't contain the love, you want to just hug them, like, oh God, I love you so much, like, wow. Is that an example of enlightened love? Or compassion, like what? If there's an ant crawling on the ground and you see a spider grab it and you just start crying, I have such compassion. I'm giving extreme illustrations to try to show like how we live in a world of concepts. And when you check these things out, when you try to validate, like, okay, what's true here? You can't really come up with anything that's solid and true in terms of like defining, what awakening is or self-realization. Everybody, it's very subjective. Everybody has a different idea about it. You ask so-called 100 masters, they're going to give you their own take. So you're more calm. Yeah, go watch some of these masters who later in life they're struck with certain illnesses and chronic elements, and see if they're as peaceful as they were back in the day when they didn't have that. They're also not. They're not. Being awake doesn't make you like super nice. You might be, that's different too. Depends on your constitution. How much fire, if you have a lot of fire element, you're probably going to come across a little less nice on superficial level than somebody who has a lot of water and earth element. That's constitution, the play of constitution. One's not better than the other. It's just we live in a world where concepts kind of drive what one believes and thinks. And I'm here to debunk a lot of that, only because it's stressful carrying around misnomers that aren't true when then you're subconsciously judging yourself and measuring yourself up against a concept that's not even true to begin with. So I'm trying to say this human self isn't where it's at, man. Where it's at, see, the human flaws and shortcomings, that doesn't bind your soul, meaning, if we're going to use Sanskrit word, it doesn't keep you locked in samsara. You don't keep coming back and recycling again and again, coming back to earth and playing the same game over and over again just because you maybe lacked a certain level of patience or intolerance, or you weren't as compassionate as Mother Teresa, etc. That's not what brings you back. What brings you back, not that it's a problem to come back, but what keeps you asleep, okay, is identity. It's when you start thinking, you believe you are this shortcoming or this problem or this thing that you need to work on. See, one of the qualities you can say, I don't like these words, master and enlightenment, and because they're so misused and overused, but for somebody who has a strong degree of self-realization, that feels better. They also have like shortcomings and issues and things like that, and an imbalanced nervous system, but the difference is they have clarity. They know that's not what they are. They know that this is like a cosmic hologram. Muji calls it a self-portrait of the self that's like being expressed and played. They have a degree of knowingness about that. There's no end to that level of knowing either. You can always realize that more deeply. But that is what really matters, is when you really start to understand and come to see that this human self, it's number one, it's not who you are, but number two, you are playing the game to where you want to work on it and try to, that's automatic. That software has been put in us by God. Like, you're going to work on your human self, but at the same time, that's not what you are. There's no instructions how to come to that realization. I mean, there's a million spiritual books out there, and masters have been talking about this throughout the ages, not because they really think that they're going to come up with a way to really convey how to do self-realization, but that's their expression. Like, what else are they going to talk about? You get to where there's nothing else to talk about. That's why, like, what do we talk about? This is what we talk about. What else is there to talk about? If you'd have come to see me make videos when I was a teen or early 20s, you would have heard me talking about maybe sport bikes and Cobras and the Mustang, things like that. But that stage is finished, and so now this is the season. This is what we talk about here. So there's 2 points. Number one, you allow yourself, that's what I mean, there's no how to do it. Listening to videos like this or reading books that point to this, or being in the company of beings who are pointing to this, that is the how to do it. But it's not a how-to in the same ways if you buy a how-to manual on how to change a flat tire. I wouldn't understand that manual anyway. But you see what I mean? This isn't a how-to in that sense. This is a undoing, a unwinding of evolving process. And when we're in the vibration of company, whether it take the form of videos or words or actual beings, that helps kickstart this alchemic process that starts the undoing. And then all of a sudden you start to come to see these things and realize these things. This is why I stress be open to having patience with this. It's like if you were going to see, let's say in 6 months, you were going to go visit a friend or a family member who you really had chemistry with and you enjoy them, or they're coming to see you, whatever. But you got to wait 6 months. Are you going to be like trying to figure out how to like get into a time warp and make that 6 months, like you don't want to wait 6 months. You want to see them now. Are you going to try to figure out how to do that? Or does something just kind of relax and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to see them in 6 months, cool. Well, this spiritual evolution, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like, it takes time. We don't know how much time, but can you relax about that? The same way as if you were waiting to go do something that you really wanted to do or see somebody. But somehow we get the mind messes around and we buy into it. The mind says there must be a technique or a way to do it now. So it tries to do it now. And then it just delays it, actually, because you're creating more identity and more resistance. You start to identify with the one that really deeply, badly wants to awaken and realize itself, and that's more identity. That's the human self, like trying to like do something. All right, how are we doing here? I write little bullet points, but then I forget. Because I don't want to be tied into. I could never like put a script here and then read it. And yes, self-realization is good, and I don't know how. Then you lose. What's higher? Opening the gate and let it go, let it flow, let the universe flow, or creating a mind script that you hold yourself to? That's not my thing. I can't do like that. So we don't do it. Yeah, pretty much everything. But I want to touch on this too. My channel attracts such beings. Good. My channel's doing its job. It's attracting the right people, the right frequency, for the most part. Those beings who, you don't wake up in the morning and you're not like, yeah, go life. Well, I can't wait. And you just jump out of bed and I'm so happy to be alive, and I made a gratitude list today and I'm like so grateful I'm breathing. And you may not feel too motivated about life. You don't have any goals or ambitions, or nothing really excites you anymore. The world will say there's something wrong with you. You need to find your passion. It doesn't realize you've already like transcended that. I'm talking to those who are at this stage. Somebody who's in deep depression because of some chemical imbalance or something else that's different. I'm talking to those who, you do the introspection and see. Are you kind of like just not too motivated anymore? And is it because, why? Yeah, do the introspection and see. Is it just kind of, you just see through it? It's just like, well, how is it going to motivate me? I've already done everything. I've already saw through it. Yeah, but shouldn't you can have goals and get excited. I've had so many goals, I've accomplished them all, and they don't do anything really. I get a short hit of euphoria, and then it's like, it fades. Oh, you get better goals. You see what I mean? Like, you've seen through that. You can't explain that to somebody who hasn't experienced that. They're not going to understand. And there's not enough people who have really transcended this human dimension to where they're around sharing things to where then you feel like, oh yeah, this is okay. They understand what I'm talking about. No, the opposite at this time and age is prominent. Get them, go for it, motivate, be productive, hit your target. So I like to share, that's why I share what I share. I share for those people who you don't have a lot of motivation left. Now, you also need to look though, am I cynical though? Am I like pissed off at the world and resentful and antisocial? And, am I, excessively heavy? Or is it just kind of like, I'm done and I'm cool with that. And actually I'm even happier. Is it like that? Because I want to say, when people, man, it's no different than, I gave this analogy before, when you're in elementary school, it's fun. That's the season, that's the stage. And then later, let's say you're in college. You can't go back to elementary school and then like enjoy it, like you're done. You like, this life, human life is the same thing. It's just a school. And so some beings, they finish the school. So they're not going to be so excited about entering the school and being in the school as somebody else whose season it is to like be in the school. So I want to say that's okay. I want to let you know there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. I want to. That's all we can really do in private sessions or having these talks. I can't teach somebody something that you don't already have inside you, but what I can do, if one's open, is I vivify what you already know, but perhaps it's sleeping, because the world likes to put truer, deeper knowledge asleep. So then God creates beings and books and etc. to help vivify these dormant memories you have. That's all we're doing here. That's all I can do. But that's enough. Like, that's worth it. I remember when I met my mentor when I was 16. Oh man, he helped me so much. He just affirmed with what like I already knew, but nobody else would affirm it. Parents, teachers, society, they didn't know. But then I met him. It was like talking to an older version of myself, and I was just he saved my life, man. Really did. All right, so where are we at? 17 minutes. Your little character flaws and shortcomings, that's not going to cause you to reincarnate again. If you were rude to the clerk at the store, or you weren't doing the formalities and pleasantries like everybody else, you kind of just, here's the money, I'm getting my groceries, okay? Yeah, that's not going to make you reincarnate. You come back here when you believe so much in this human portrait self, and you have all these projections about it, of what it wants to do and accomplish and be and conquer and awaken. When that's super, super strong, you have to do your own introspection and see. When that's really strong, that it has to bring you back, because you want to come back, basically. It's not like it's there's some demon, there's some bad entity up there, and it's like, oh, let's send him back to Earth. It's the heaviest dimension, and like, we're gonna send him back because he wasn't nice to his mom or something. No, you bring yourself back because you want to come back, basically. You have certain desires and experiences and things that you want to work out that requires a very dense physical realm and body to do that work in. That's why you come back. So if you've already are in the process, or you've to a sufficient degree realized that like this dimension really isn't my home, the karma that I had that brought me here, I've pretty much that's been burnt up, that's been expiated. You can just check inside and feel. That's why I like pen and paper. Write it down. What do I have left to do here that I didn't do that feels very strong? Write that down. Now some, because they've asked me in the comments, it's a good question. What do I do if I have a very strong desire to have a certain experience, but I can't have it? Well, number one, you're not dead yet. And number two, if you're really open and willing and wanting to be free, if that's inside you, the fact that you even asked that question means it's inside you. That's the thing. Somebody who's super identified with the human body and show, they won't ask that question. a desire comes up and they just go for it. There's no reflection like, wait a minute though, like there's a part of me that could care less about this desire, but yet the energy and current so strong, it's pulling me to go experience this. Like, what the hell is going on? That's a high level soul. So like I say, they're asking what to do then. This energy and current and karma is strong. It's pulling me to have a certain experience, but I can't have it because it's circumstantial. I just can't. Like, I can't do it. I want to maybe go to Thailand, and I live in America, and I can't get there to go do what I want to do. Or I wanted to be a sport bike racer. This is a good example. When I was like a teen, and I started writing down, what do I need to do do that? Just in the process of evaluating it and checking it, I was like, I don't want to do that. It's too much work. I don't know how to work on the damn bikes. I just know how to drive them, like to pop up in front of the girls. That's all. Like, I didn't know how to do all the, you got to get a sponsor and I was like, this is too much. I don't want to do all that. Desire was gone. So sometimes just via investigation, your desires burn up. So what I was trying to get to before is, if your sole desire is to be free, if that's the main desire, but yet you have this karmic pull toward having a certain experience, what do you do if you can't experience it? Intruders? See, if they're kids, it's okay. I don't mind, because less mind. But kids, dogs, babies, they're cool. Cats. But the adults, I don't know, it's too much mind, you know. So if your soul really wants to be free, but you're being pulled by this karma, two things will happen, because your soul really wants to be free. That's all that matters. That's it. That's all that matters. Don't worry about how it looks on superficial level. Like, whoa, it looks like I'm going to be stuck, or I'm going to have to come back. I can't experience this desire. No, that's self-talk. That's not true. When your soul really wants to be free, there will be forces that will make you free in one or two ways. Either there'll be a way that you can experience this desire at some point, in some way, somehow, or experience something that, even if it wasn't the exact experience you wanted or thought you needed, you experienced something close enough to where it like knocked that desire off. See, we don't know the majesticness of how this world, this cosmos operates. You can't trust your narrow-minded perception and then think and draw conclusions based on that. This world, the mystery of life will beat you every time, man. It comes up with ways that we can't even fathom. So there'll be some way, either that desire will get experienced somehow, or what will happen is what happened to me when I wanted to race the sport bikes. It'll just fall away at some point. Either way, you're free. Remember, that's what you want. That's your main yearning of the soul, is that you just want to be free. It's really not about experiencing the desire. Now, for the newer souls, when they really, that space isn't there. That deeper desire for soul freedom's not there. They're aligned totally and identified with wanting to experience that desire. That's it. There's no yeah, but, or nothing. They'll have to come back if they don't get to experience the desire here, because they want to come back, because they want to experience that desire. All right, did you understand that? I think you did. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, I might make another video before it rains. I'll see you guys soon.